I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people, you're right, aren't happy to begin with, but then also are offsides with their financials in terms of maybe even their entire lives, but then also how they dealt with getting into pulse chain ecosystem or crypto or over leveraging their sacrifices and stuff like that, and just having way too high of expectations. Starting off though, so this was kind of the big drama of the day, and I know you have strong thoughts on this, as do I. But Richard, and I'm going to go ahead because I've been bookmarking these tweets the last few weeks, so we'll go to Broke Boys bookmarks here, and okay, I thought I bookmarked the Richard stuff from today. Maybe I did not. Did you? Do you? I mean, we can just access it pretty easily.
I didn't.
You know what? I wonder if he deleted it.
Which one?
Like the one that set the world on fire this
The
morning.
single-sided staking one?
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Oh my gosh, he deleted it. That's why. Huh. Very interesting. Well, that's interesting to note.
Well, in one of his not too recent, well, more recent tweets, I should say, he did say devs have limited time. You know, go.hex.com is being worked on. Forget what else, something else was in there.
But
and
before
then,
you even go there, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to make sure that we backtrack to what originally happened. And I do have that tweet up, so I want to get to it. But like the deleted tweet, and I think we can both kind of do it from memory, but he essentially was ragging on the idea of single-sided staking, and he's hearing a lot of people talk about it, and he doesn't know why, and it's, what's the big deal? Then he also actually went on a rant about like, why are you so excited? What gets you off about like taking somebody else's money?
right.
I want you to summarize it a little bit, and then we'll go to the tweet you said, because I think it's important to start off with. Anybody that's catching up, basically the whole world was set ablaze, basically because he was. It sounded like saying single-sided staking is not coming to PulseX, which a
Right.
lot of people were apparently hoping for. So go ahead.
So let's back it up even further. And in the testnet version 2, I think it was, or 2B, one of those, there was a single-sided staking pool that was introduced. At that point, I think you could only stake, if I'm not mistaken, 10 million PulseX. It was capped. So, but you earned more of the party token, I believe it was at that point. I'm just trying to remember because it's been quite a while.
I think you're right.
And then that kind of ended and disappeared and never came back. So, the tweet today was like, well, the one about excited to get other people's money, excuse me, was more along the lines of he was thinking people wanted to stake PulseX to get more PulseX. Well, the thought behind that was, where's it going to come from? Because this is not an inflationary token, it's a deflationary token. So who's going to pay the rewards? And I think, and then he kind of realized or maybe remembered about the party token. And that was kind of in another follow-up tweet after that. In this case, maybe the incentive token could be used, or maybe he brings back the party token. I don't know. It makes sense though, right? Why would you? So my first thought was, why are these people bitching about staking when we have the best staking product in crypto, right? Hex that's what it's for. If you want yield, stake your Hex or buy Hex and then stake it. I that's what threw me off. And then someone, I had to comment. Usually I bite my tongue and don't say anything. But the one that I couldn't pass up was somebody had mentioned, well, Richard promised. And I had to jump all over that and say, well, first of all, Richard doesn't promise anything ever. He's very clear about saying, I don't work for you guys. I never did. You don't expect anything from me or anyone. And if you want it, do it yourself, kind of thing. So
yeah.
that was, that was where I had to kind of jump in and say something and be like, I can guarantee you that Richard did not promise. I've seen just about every stream, and know that Richard never promised that we would have it. So he then proceeded to, well, anyway, let's go from there. But after that, then, like I said, he came out with the tweet that said, I got all this stuff, other stuff first. The
Yeah,
devs
so
have
here I'll
finite
read
time.
it. I'll read it exactly. I pulled it up here. So yeah, so
Okay.
he I think he realized, and people are allowed to do this, believe it or not. Some people I think were pissed that he deleted tweets. And now that I'm seeing that the tweet is deleted, I did see somebody talking about him deleting a tweet earlier today, and that must have been it, obviously.
Right.
But probably better to think better of it. And he probably realized, and he has done this, I think, inadvertently before, but he thinks he's just kind of, and he is, I think, playing some kind of 4D chess, or just kind of saying something without saying it, which I really actually value in his tweets. And then dumb people don't understand it, and people that read into it a little bit better do. But I think he deleted it because he just saw what it was kind of in part causing. So yeah, then later on, and I said to you, and we're going to be, vindicated here, as some people would say, off of Richard Hart tweets. But I said to you, those initial tweets that set everybody's hair on fire didn't necessarily say single-sided staking wasn't coming. A lot of times he will do things like that, saying, tongue-in-cheekly, this is what I would do. Or, just kind of cluing you a little bit, like, I don't recommend doing it, but it'll be here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
and I did say that to you. So then he tweeted it a little bit later today. Devs have finite time. Go.hex.com is being worked on for Pulse Chain. That's another thing we're going to get into tonight. A lot of people, not a lot, I've seen some storms on Twitter about why can't I stake Hex on Pulse Chain on the normal Hex front end. So we'll get to that. He also says the auto router is being worked on, which is going to allow you to seek the best prices for anything you're trading on PulseX. Upstream updates are being merged for core clients. Wallet Connect is being upgraded. Single-sided staking needs to wait. So right there, and that's kind of what I was thinking, and I think you probably were too, Ewok, is like he didn't say like there is no single-sided staking coming to PulseX. I think that's more, that tweet right there is more what he kind of meant.
Right.
So yeah, what's your takeaway there?
Well, I didn't even know that he deleted it. I didn't catch it,
I didn't tell now.
that it was gone either. So, you never, people put too much value in, I guess, what he says, too quickly, overreact without thinking.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. People are just so emotional, and they get so uptight about the littlest things. Um, it, I don't know. It's a hard place to be, I guess, when you have overextended yourself, and are in a bad financial position where you can clearly see that people are getting overly emotional, about the littlest things. And just like you said, I don't want to lead into this yet, but the even the staking thing, we have other options. People are
Mhm.
just, I feel like there's just not enough people, or not enough gratefulness, for the things that we have, and the things that we've gotten. And it's mostly because price is down, and all these people didn't see their 2x, 5x, whatever it was, within 30 days. And, you know, we kind of said that's probably not going to happen, guys. It's probably going to dip just like Hex did. And
Right.
we've been preaching it, but no one's listening. They're overly emotional about it. And they're just in a tough spot. Some people just aren't happy to begin with. And I think that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Until the price is going up and everybody's dancing around in kumbaya, it's going to be rough for a lot of people, and they should just stay off Twitter. But they've got to vent somehow, I think, and that's their method of release, I guess.
I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people, you're right, aren't happy to begin with, but then also are offsides with their financials in terms of maybe even their entire lives, but then also how they dealt with getting into the Pulse Chain ecosystem or crypto, or over leveraging their sacrifices and stuff like that, and just having way too high of expectations.